Hello, I'm Atron, and welcome back to Tutorial France for Europa Universalis 4. I actually left it on the terrain map mode at the beginning of the video this time, since you can see that it's very cold in Russia and Sweden. Not unjustly famous, the Russian winters. A little less dangerous winter here in beautiful France. Right, so in the last episode we had finished up a war with Burgundy where we had taken some of their land. And we're in the middle of coring it. Somewhere up here. Yeah, there we go. Our core construction will be finished in April. And we're basically doing that and putting down rebels at the moment and waiting for our aggressive expansion to tick down. So let's put those guys up. No reason to keep them separate. And I think we've got an explorer out. Yeah, we've got an explorer in Cape Bojador doing some scouting for us. He's exploring the Atlantic Ocean. Exciting. Alright, so what's going on here? Oh, really? Bohemia? We've been through this once already. I'm not giving this land back. They demanded Barrois back from me last time. And yeah, that unlawful territory. That's a really obnoxious modifier, but it does only last 10 years. So, yeah, Bohemia, we are not accepting that. Go soak your elbow. So they pretty much don't like us. Yeah, unlawful territory penalty of 48. We're going to keep running into that because we are probably going to want to push into some more of the empire as we get bigger. You know, I've been thinking about where I want to expand to after we finish up in France. And, you know, while I could go down into Spain and Italy where there is no Holy Roman Empire, I'd kind of like to push into this sort of northern, the lowlands, the Dutch area, and, you know, some of this stuff. I might also do some things in Spain and Italy, but, you know, I'd kind of like to take, I don't want to shy away from the Empire. I usually stay out of the Empire because it's a real pain, but, you know, we'll see how we do. Historically, Napoleon did break up the Holy Roman Empire. I don't know that I'm quite as good as Napoleon in any way. Might be taller, I don't know. But you know, we'll see what we can do. So another thing I'd like to do is go ahead and grab another idea. Overseas exploration gives us colonial range 50%. That doesn't really do anything for us right this very minute, but it's one of the necessary components for the colonial race. So, and that is in fact the last idea we need to get started colonizing. We'll want this other stuff, especially the second colonist right there. But we're going to stop taking ideas and go back to taking tech for a while. And as you can see, we could already take tech at a discount, and we've got none of the points necessary. So we need 2 more tech levels, and then we'll be ready to colonize. We're probably looking at about 10 years, maybe a little longer, as long as we don't spend a lot of diplomatic points outside of technology. So I'll generally be avoiding that. I did pick up our first national idea, which gives us extra income from vassals and lower diplomatic annexation cost. Despite the fact that we picked this up, I'm probably not going to integrate Brittany until after we've caught up on, or we've gotten to Diplotech 7 and started colonizing. We just don't. It's just a bad idea. And after that, we won't care anywhere near as much about Diplo points, and then we'll feel free to integrate Brittany. So, all right, I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to have to deal with rebels here now because, of course, I got that stupid unlawful territory modifiers for another 10 years in this province. So let's see how we're doing. Barrois, Burgundy, Provençal, Picardy, and we got some rebel factions. We're probably going to see a war happen. And because of that, I'm actually going to turn around. I just recalled all these diplomats. I'm actually going to turn around and work on this some more because I really think it's important to. I don't care about Brabant, but I do care about Liège. Let's keep working on Liège. I want to keep them friendly with us. And what else do we have? No. Who are you? You're Trier. Trier, yeah, we'll work on you some more. Okay. I don't really have anything fantastic for the diplomats to do anyway. I care about my relations with Brittany, but it's maxed. I care about my relations with Austria, but it's pretty close to max. It's only 9 points off. I care about my relations with the Pope, but that's pretty close to max. I don't really care about my relations with Castile that much. One thing I did notice is that we have Aragon's heir, Candela de Trastamara. That's almost certainly a female name. I'm not 100% positive, but Candela does not sound like a guy's name. So when Enric dies, and he's 31, so he's probably got at least another 10 or 15 years before he dies, and he could live all the way to 58 or 60, I mean, or even later. It happens, but typically they won't die until they're at least 40. So when he dies and Candela becomes queen, then we will probably see the Iberian wedding happen. So at that point, once the Iberian wedding happens, it's almost inevitable that Castile will rival me, and then we'll lose that alliance. So I'm not counting on that from a long-term perspective. I may even try to get up to some shenanigans on the Iberian Peninsula after our country stabilizes a little bit. Alright, we finished our exploration mission. It does look like they've got one more mission for us to do. Oh no, we've got actually quite a few missions to do. Because we picked up that extra colonial range from that idea that we just picked up, we now have several missions, several colonization missions that we can do. So I'm going to start off by finishing off the Atlantic stuff. We've got plenty of time. We'll get all those done. But let's go ahead and get started. And our cores are coming in soon. Aquileia is not supporting Poland anymore. Missions are become papal controller, which isn't likely to happen because the Pope is young, and Savoy, which I want to do at some point, but not yet. Okay, the King of Castile died, and they have King Enrique IV de Trastamara, who is terrible, 000, so that will set Spain back a little bit, and he has no legal heir, so we lost our royal marriage. We probably want to go ahead and get it back. There's no real harm. If we attack Castile, we'll do so after making them our rival, and we can always break a rival's royal marriage without any penalty whatsoever. So I'm assuming they're going to send me a diplomat. If not, oh, Portugal and Castile allied again. I was hoping to avoid that. And the bourgeoisie want privileges. Well, I can't lose any diplo power, so I guess we're losing admin power. I didn't really want to lose either one of those things. There are our cores. So we now have no overextension. That should reduce our unrest some. Yeah, it's down to 7.7 here. How are we doing up here? 2.7 here, yeah. And how are we doing here? Nothing there, and 1.2. Can we split some of those people off? Yes, we can. We don't need all 5 of those troops there. So if I split this group in half and send half to Maine, then that should actually eliminate all this, the entire Provençal uprising. It'll tick down, and that'll get rid of that. I think we still need the troops there for 3 more years in order to keep it from ticking up at all. Actually, we don't even need, we would if we didn't want to accumulate any progress. If we can get it to tick down, we can probably move those troops elsewhere. Certainly at the beginning of 1467 we can. And by the time it ticks up enough to be dangerous, the unrest will have gone away because the separatism will have decayed even more. So basically, we're gonna hang around until 1467, and then we're not gonna worry about those two. They'll basically be safe at that point, unless we drop stability, which needs to not happen. All right, and yeah, as you can see, we now have no more unrest for this particular one. Ooh, Burgundy's trying to fabricate on Auvergne. That's a very interesting province for you to want to take, Burgundy. But you're not going to get it anyway, so leave it alone. Alright, here's Castile's royal marriage request. Yes, we'll take it. My legitimacy is not doing so well. And that's because I keep taking royal marriages. It goes back up a little each year. Ragusa is fighting Venice. That just shows how weak Venice has become. Yeah, they're basically, Venice has just completely been hosed here. Right, Nevers' king died. And let's keep on going. Yeah, now we're down to just the 3 rebel factions. I'm surprised the Picardians have risen the fastest, because I've got the troops there, so it should be rising the slowest, but yeah, whatever. Okay, our explorer's back. And I don't really need to explore Ivory Coast, but I could. I might do that just so that I can see what Portugal can see. Portugal starts with an explorer, and Portugal's explorer cannot leave the cannot go into the ocean until they get the Quest for the New World that we picked up just a bit ago. So, and their explorers almost certainly died by now. But they typically come down and explore part of Africa. But I don't know that I really care. Sure, let's go find Chesapeake Bay. Chesapeake Bay, in case you're not familiar with it, is in the eastern part of the United States. What's now the United States. It's clearly not in this time period. So we're going to discover the waters off of America way before 1492, because apparently boats work to get there, but not colony boats or something. I don't know. It's not a space game where colony ship is a thing, but we'll be able to see the land long before we can colonize it. I didn't even know we had a truce with Savoy. Oh, right, that war with Provence. Just finishing. And Burgundy didn't have enough of our previous war and has decided that they want to attack Liège. So did Bohemia defend them? Yeah, Bohemia is the emperor, and because Burgundy is not in the empire and attacked somebody that is in the empire, the emperor can come to their defense. So I'm glad that Austria is no longer the emperor, because Austria probably would have called us in as their ally to kill Burgundy, although I wouldn't have necessarily minded fighting Burgundy. There wouldn't have been anything in it for me. So I'm just as glad. It also will potentially weaken Bohemia. I don't know who's going to win this war. I expect that Burgundy will win this war, and that will weaken Bohemia, which is good for me because I'm going to want to take stuff in the Holy Roman Empire also, and I'm going to constantly be tangling with the emperor. Hopefully Bohemia will stay the emperor. Yeah, they've got the electorate at the moment. The Holy Roman Empire panel shows there are 7 nations that elect the new emperor if the old one dies. How old is Jiri Z? What kind of a name is Z? Is that of or something? My Slavic not a strong point. He's 40. Really? Why does everybody but me get great heirs? Terrible heir. Pretty good guy here, but terrible heir. Oh, my admin points are going to be killing me when Francois becomes the king. Hopefully I'll get a better heir after him. But yeah, that's what's going on. Lithuania set the Ottomans as a rival. We've got plenty of money. Let's build a couple more temples. Temples. Where would we like some temples? How about there? That's at 0.23. And Berry, Anjou, the local autonomy is probably still too high. And one more will be good. How about Toulouse? Or Poitou? I think Poitou has less. I think Toulouse still has a... No, never mind. Yeah, we'll do it here. Okay. Go for it. Toulouse. Give me temple. Yeah, so that we just spent 300 on that, but we are still making money, and we'll get that extra income will help. Our force limit, we now have room for 10. We disbanded all of our mercenaries. We do have room for a boat, and more wars going on. We have room for a boat, and I'm going to go ahead and build another big boat. I have basically no trade fleet at this point, which is very sad, but trade is just not that big of a deal right now. And I'd rather gear up. I've now got 5 heavies. Yeah, 5 heavies. So this fleet is expensive. Speaking of this fleet being expensive, I'm not going to need them for bits. I'm actually going to mothball them, which will reduce their maintenance. So yeah, that'll help. Yeah, see, we're making more money already just because I mothballed some heavies. Because those heavies are expensive to maintain. But we're going to need, we're going to be wanting to go to war with England sometime in the next 10 years, and we need a fleet that can at least somewhat match them. All right, Savoy lost 2 provinces to Switzerland. Switzerland had cores on those, so always wanted them. They failed the first time. What happened? Lithuania must have gotten free of Poland. Yep. Not sure what happened. Oh, they had negative prestige? How did Poland get negative prestige after everything it did? Well, that's interesting. I mean, Poland and Lithuania are historic friends, so they'll inevitably end up allying and helping each other. But Poland and Lithuania together is much more threatening. And I think Poland and Sweden are allies. Yeah, that's still really, really scary. But they're fighting Muscovy, and yeah, it's interesting. We'll see what happens over there. Of course, historically, Napoleon tried to take Moscow, which is way the heck up in, right here. There's Moscow. And, but I don't know that I'll get that. I think that's Moscow. Am I crazy? Moskva seems like it should be Moscow. National Epic ended. We lost an Inquisitor that wasn't using anyway, and Lithuania is still selecting rivals. Yep, there's Poland and Lithuania allying again. Yeah, I'm really happy. My truce with Ulm is up. Yeah, I've still got a lot of truces. The most notable one is Burgundy in November 78. All the rest of these don't matter. And Austria annexed one of its vassals, this one right here, Baden. Alright, what's going on here? Mainz wants access. Sure, Mainz, go for it. Mainz is almost certainly an ally of Bohemia and is coming over here to attack. Yeah, you can see they're in the Burgundian land. Genoa allied Lithuania. Oh, that's very interesting. The reason that happened is Genoa's down here. You wouldn't think they'd be interested in Lithuania. Genoa actually has some land over here in Crimea, and since Lithuania and Crimea are rivals, and Crimea and Genoa are, yeah, they're rivals. So they're common rivals of Crimea. It's weird. I'm not sure how long Genoa held onto this land, but you know, it's interesting. Yeah, I think probably what happened is we saw intermittently some rebels over here in the Poland and Lithuanian land, and probably they lost a rebellion or two, enforced their demands or something, and that's how they lost all that prestige. Alright, Mainz is getting killed by Burgundy. I'm generally in favor of that. Oh, here's a big Bohemian army. I have boats just kind of chilling here. I'm okay with that. You know, they can observe. I'm not doing anything with that fleet anyway, and it doesn't cost anything to maintain, so it might as well be out instead of in a port. Alright, we're into 1467. I want to take a look at our aggressive expansion and see how that's coming along. Yeah, Burgundy still hates us. Brittany's mostly down. Aragon's mostly down. I'm mostly interested in over here. 25, which is not real good. How much would we get from one claim? I'm going to recall this diplomat in Liège because he's maxed anyway. I'm going to recall this diplomat in Trier because he's near max, and I don't really care about getting it super high. I just want it to be above 0. Yeah, Alsace might be a good one. Anyway, I guess I can wait for my diplomats to get back. Trier and Liège. Okay, so if I were to, let's say, go after a claim, I'm not sure I actually want to claim on Provence, but I want to see the 2.5 aggressive expansion. Okay, so even if I get 2.5 aggressive expansion with these guys, they're not going to be in coalition range. So I can start picking up a CB for my next war. The problem is that whatever I take with that war is going to have to give me no aggressive expansion itself, because I want it to tick down. I'm going to want to go back to war with Burgundy as soon as our truce is up, and try to, you know, take more land out of them, pick up Lorraine, which I didn't do this time, or something. I don't know, but we're going to want to do something. And you know, I want to have basically no aggressive expansion going into that war. So I would like to do some kind of a war, partly because I want to continue to maintain my power projection. But it needs to be something that doesn't involve me taking land. So I'll either just do a humiliation war, or I will, you know, do something where I force them to give up some land or something. And I could do a humiliation war against England. I don't think I really have the fleet yet for England. I'm looking for the ledger, which is not a map mode. Very good. Let's check navies. Who has the most navy? Yeah, England is still joint top with the Ottomans. Most of it's tied up in transports. They have no light ships. I think we killed their trade fleet a while back, and they've just never rebuilt it. They probably didn't have the money to do so, because they have the room. They just haven't managed to do it yet. I mean, I think England's been pretty broke because everybody's been pounding on them, and you know, they're just in a bad position. But they still have their 6 heavies and 19 transports. I have 5 heavies and 7 galleys and 8 transports. But I think, you know, they still have a pretty good army as well. England. Yeah, that's moderate. But yeah, I'm not sure I want to do a humiliation war against England. What I'm actually interested in potentially doing is coming down here and doing something with the Iberian Peninsula. So I've really 2 options. I could drop my my alliance with Castile by rivaling them and go to war with Castile. However, Castile's allied with the Pope and the Papal State. Excuse me, the Pope is the Papal State. Portugal and the Papal State. I'm not that worried about either one of them, but it's not the prettiest situation in the world. That would be, well, I mean that's a definite. They're definitely an easier target than Aragon would be. Aragon has, well, Florence isn't much of a threat. They're big for an Italian state, but this is only 4 provinces. We can easily knock them out. I'm more worried about Hungary. Hungary's going to be hard to get to, and of course Aragon is actually this plus this plus this plus this, and that's going to be, so it's actually Naples and Florence in the Italian peninsula. So that would be quite a tough fight. I might be able to get Castile to help. Castile is really in serious debt and doesn't have a really big army. So I'd have to, and they've got a truce with Aragon because of their inconclusive war. So I'd have to wait a few years before Castile would be willing to do so. The advantage of doing that is that if I call Castile in against Aragon, and they'd almost certainly join if they got out of debt, the advantage would be that I would get to control the peace treaty, and I would be able to give Castile nothing out of that. I would also potentially, my worry here is I don't want Castile to take all of this land. I'm okay with them getting the rest of the Iberian Peninsula. It's not ideal, but I can live with Castile taking this Aragonese land. I might want it at some point, but Castile's going to be a long-term rival. I don't need to cripple them right now, but I would prefer if they didn't also pick up Naples, because on the Iberian wedding, if Aragon still has Naples, they'll get that. And since we don't think the wedding, the Iberian wedding, is going to happen until Aragon's king dies, if we drive their prestige low enough, then we pretty much guarantee they won't keep Naples. Now, Enrique IV could have a female heir, and he could die. He probably will die before Enric does, and then we'd be in trouble. But I think I'm actually, I think the downside of rivaling Aragon is so low that I'm going to do it, because if they do get the Iberian wedding happens, then I'll just get this rival slot back. And I don't want to rival Austria. I'll inevitably end up rivaling Castile when they rival us, which will happen soon. So let's go ahead and take Aragon, sure. And now, because they're a rival, I should have a little bit better chance of fabricating on them without, my chance of discovery is pretty low. I'll still pick up that 2.5. So I'm not actually going to take any land, so it really doesn't matter what claim I take. I'll go ahead and claim the land that's next to me, though. So, alright, you can go do that. Alright. And then, let's see, what's our relationship like here? Sure, Cleves, work on your relationship. Now that I'm actually paying attention to all these little minors, I probably should have been doing that when I had all those zillion diplomats and free time. Now I actually need my diplomats. And where's our fleet? Oh, we're in the Bermuda Sea. Look at this. Look at this big swath of ocean we've discovered. We haven't discovered any land, but lots of ocean. I'm going to turn the speed up. I don't really think we need to be going quite this slow. How are our rebellions looking? Burgundy's, the Burgundian separatists, which are in Franche-Comté? Yeah, Franche-Comté. I guess I could have found that out easier by looking over here. Have ticked all the way up to 40%, which is kind of a shame. Do I need these guys here anymore? If I remove them, it will be about a 1 point. Yeah, I think we're fine removing these. So I'm gonna send these guys over to Franche-Comté and try to put that rebellion down. Alright, we can take military technology, and we have a neighbor discount, so we might as well do so. This is actually a really nice level. It gets us a building to build, the barracks, which will give us additional manpower, which will help us maintain a bigger army ready to go. It'll also give us extra military tactics, which help us both on offense and defense. Combat width isn't that important, but infantry shock means our infantry will do more damage in the shock phase, which is always a good thing. So, yes, please. And I'm going to immediately build a barracks in Paris, because Paris can pretty much have everything it wants, and it's totally it's got a lot of manpower, so that's great. We'll do that, and then we'll hold on to the rest of our money for now. Our temples are about to finish. Oh, our Provencal can happen, but it's a 0.8 chance in 2 provinces, and that'll be entirely gone in 2 years. Assuming we don't pick up any more exhaustion. Alright, how is the... Yeah, we're still at 2.4 in French Comte. And did it just tick up? Yes, it did. So there's now... It's 50% of the way organized. We almost... I can almost guarantee we're going to end up with one of these rebellions firing. I thought it would have been okay until we got the stupid unlawful territory demands. So, we hate you, Bohemia. We're going to come for you at some point. We're going to break up your whole empire. But not for a while. Alright, we have finished exploring the waters of Chesapeake Bay. Yep, and there you can see, look at that, there's Chesapeake Bay right there. And there's the Long Island and the Massachusetts Cape. So we can see North America. It will be ours. But first, yeah, and I could, yeah, see, it won't let me explore the coast because it's just too far off. So I can visit the coast by exploring the coastline, but I can't actually find any of that land. That is just fine with me. I'm perfectly fine with that. I think we now want to explore. Oh, let's do the North Sea, sure. That's just a couple of these little bits up here. Alright, Venice lost 2 territories to Serbia. So yeah, Venice is just falling apart. They've only got 3 provinces left out of their whole empire they started with. Oh no, they still got Euboea down here. And Burgundy has pieced out Mainz. Basically, they forced Mainz out of the war. They're about to force the Palatinate out of the war. But Bohemia is here in some force, and they have sieged... No, that's the Palatinate. How's this war going? Yeah, they're plus 25. Because they control Liège, and they've won a bunch of battles, and they've occupied Liège. And they've occupied Heidelberg. Heidelberg's right here, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I'm all for stuff happening up here. I'd really prefer Burgundy didn't get all its prestige back. I don't know if it will be able to get enough. Let's see. How old is he? He is 34. So, yeah, they've got plenty of time. Actually, he may still be alive when we go back to war with him. Alright, we have maxed Aachen, and Cleves is high enough also. So let's take a look at who isn't our friend at the moment. Munster. Munster doesn't like us much. Go Munster. That's other Munster. There's Munster with an umlaut, and then there's over here Munster without an umlaut. And one is in Ireland and the other one is in Germany. So confusing, but you know, not my fault. How about the Palatinate? Yeah, they don't like us either. I've got no diplomat. No, I do. Alright. And Burgundian separatists up to 60%. Alright. Into 1468. Burgundy's pieced out Württemberg. So this is now just... no, they've got Liège, Muscovy. Good luck piecing out Muscovy, Burgundy. They'll get bored. But Muscovy can't really get here. They can't march through Lithuania and Poland, which hate them, and I don't think they have the boats to get there. So, what will happen is Burgundy will take... In fact, Burgundy already has taken the land that it wants, and after 2 years, all those allies won't be able to help. They'll have to give up at that point. I think, unless unless Bohemia has become the war leader, which they might have done. Am I looking for? I'm looking for this war. I was wondering where I went. Yeah, no, Liège is still the war leader. So yeah, that means that if they full occupied Liège, their allies have 2 years to unsiege them, basically, and after that, then Liège can be full annexed, even without occupying its allies. We'll be taking advantage of that at some point here. Alright, we got our CB on Aragon without picking up any aggressive expansion. That is excellent. And Venice is giving up war reparations to Ragusa. Alright, I don't need any more claims on Aragon because I don't want to take their land anyway. I will probably want to take Provence at some point. So let's go ahead and get a claim on Provence. This one we have a much higher chance of getting discovered on. But I'm okay with that. We need to build up our claims at some point. And speaking of claims, how do our claims look like on Burgundy? We have one claim on Artois. And when does our truce end? Our truce Our truce ends in November 78, and this expires. Yeah, so we're going to lose that claim, the claim on Artois, as soon as the peace ends. And this one lasts a little longer. And I think we just picked up this one recently as part of an event. Yeah, so we got plenty of time on that. So we have a couple of claims on Burgundy. We might want one or two more. We might want to claim Metz. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. So that's something to look at. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and stop here. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.